This episode is about dating scams in Ukraine. As you know, there are two floors in the rocket. The first floor is the online dating time, and during this time you can have a lot of scams. But the second floor of the rocket is when you arrive into the country in Ukraine and you could be scammed. And this story is about it's a real story first that happened to me, and it's about my dating tips. So I will describe what in the reality you can have to face, because you are not alone, you are facing a woman. And in this story it was a duo scammers. There were two, but in the beginning I was not knowing that there was a second scammer behind. And so I will help you to understand what is going on in your mind. So, because I had been in the same process 11 years ago. The difference today, of course, is I have a lot more experience than in 2009, but the scam in 2009 or today are still the same. So I met this woman on a very serious site that is well known from the insider, and it is still a good site. And I already met some women from this site with success, but in every site you can have, of course, some scammer. And I was quite confident because during the correspondence all was very okay. No red flag, no bikini photo, no naked photo, not a lot of photo. We will review together some few letters I had got from her, and the profile was verified on the site. I was confident, and we will discuss later about this, the verified profile. I will give you more information about this. When I decided to go 1 week in the center of Ukraine, in Kharkov, and then she offered me to rent the flat for me, and I agreed on this. And I spent the whole day to travel, because Kharkov is a secondary city in Ukraine, so you are first to land in Kiev and after to take a connecting flight. When I arrived it was quite late. I was happy because she was here to pick me up at the airport, and we went into the city center at this time. So we jumped in the taxi, we started to discuss a little. She had an intermediate level in English, not so bad, so we could communicate a little. She was a small woman, blonde, and she was like the shy type of woman. Arrived in the city center, she wanted to get out from the taxi, but I needed to pay the taxi. And at this moment she told me the bill for the taxi, and I had like a reaction because I found out that it was like a little expensive, something like $15. She noticed my reaction and she told me, don't worry, it's because I live a little far. Okay, at this moment you think there is nothing I can do because maybe she lives far. She had to pay the taxi to pick me up at the airport. It was something like 7 kilometers back and forth, plus probably she had to come back from her home and she had to return. So nothing special, and I let it go. When we entered in the flat was okay. It was modern, it was nice, it was not so big, it was like 30 square meters, but all was fine. And she told me, I bought some little food for you, because usually in Ukraine what happens is you don't drink the water on the tap, and you need to have all time some water bottle with gas or without gas, like you like. And normally the old-fashioned school in Ukraine would like to buy some little present for you, little gift. And of course, so you start in the morning with let's say some tea, some coffee, and maybe some biscuit. So this is like something that happens often in Ukraine. So I was not very surprised because it was my third trip in Ukraine, and I was not expecting her to sleep. We didn't know each other. I was tired. It was late. It was already 11 a.m. and I wanted just to have a good sleep, to be in shape for the day after and to meet her again. But before she left, I asked her how much I owe her for such packets, and she told me 10 bucks. 10 bucks, it's nothing, 10 bucks. At this moment, I gave her 10 bucks, and as she was almost leaving to return to her home, I asked her what about the flat, and she told me you need to see this with the owner, and she will call you. Okay, she will call me, but when? Because the woman who picked me up at the airport had retrieved the key, and I was a little uncomfortable about this. I wanted to fix the problem. And suddenly I asked her what is the price per night, and she told me 80 euro. 80 euro! Oh my gosh, 80 euro. Okay, the flat was okay. It was not big. It was 30 square meters. It was like a one bedroom, which means that you have no bedroom. In Ukraine, when they say one bedroom, you have no bedroom. If you have a separated bedroom, it's a two bedroom. Dva komnata. And for me, this price was very high because that was not my first time in Ukraine. That was my third travel in approximately 5 months or 6 months maximum. She told me, okay, I don't know, you need to discuss this with the owner. So I went to sleep, and when I wake up, the first thing I started was to pack all my belongings, to clean all, and start to search on internet, because the flat has an internet box. Almost all apartments rented in Ukraine have such special box to get internet, because in 2009 I couldn't have internet on my smartphone. Abroad it would have cost me a fortune. My French provider would have asked me a lot of money to access to internet for few megabytes. I needed to find a solution, and in the morning I sent a message, short message, to the woman that had picked me up at the airport the evening before, and I told her, I will leave this flat, you need to call the owner, so she needs to come to pick up the key, because I don't want to stay anymore here. Because the search I had made at this moment, I would say an apartment was around 40 bucks, 40 euro, which means at this time approximately $50. And she say, okay, I will call her. And the owner finally told me, I'm arriving. It was just a question of 1 hour. So it was the end of the morning. And when she arrived, I faced up a young woman, around 30. She was quite pretty, I would say 7+. And she saw that all my belongings were packed, and I was ready to leave. I was damn not serious about this. But the problem is, without internet, with my luggage, it would have been a little uncomfortable, because I would have some problem during the afternoon to find out quickly another apartment. I would have spent a few hours with my heavy luggage. So I told her that the price was too much, and I proposed 40 euro, and she accepted. But because that was the price, and that was the end of the morning. During the dating time, this woman was not into me. The truth is that this woman was not attracted to me. She was shy, But shyness don't explain this. She was simply not attracted. That was her right, something I can understand and I respect. But what was going on, for example, she was talking to me several times. She talked to me about a computer, an Apple, and I checked the model at the apartment on the internet. This was a $2,000 notebook. So this is big money. In 2009, for a woman who was starting her career, and because she was, I don't know, 29, that was a big sum. And it started to make me uncomfortable. And I told her, because she repeatedly talked about this three times maybe. And the fourth time I just looked at her and told her in the eye, you talk a lot about this computer, yeah? And she definitively shut up her mouth about this. And I was blocked because I couldn't restart dating because it was a weekend and I needed to restart some agency and I was blocked. I had a backup woman, but she didn't answer me when I was here. I finally met her, but later. So my situation, it was Friday, Saturday, and Saturday, so I started to have a lot of doubt. But I found out the solution. You know, the food she brings, she dropped the ticket on the bar in the apartment. And what I did, I looked at this ticket and she betrayed herself with this ticket because very simply, she asked me $10 and the ticket was about $5. I have my proof right now. But I thought, okay, you don't, at this moment I was not reading Cyrillic or very few, you are not sure, so I started to translate a little. Maybe this ticket, she had removed some food from the ticket and she kept with her this food or these items and she put here in a bag. So I will make an accusation and it will be not fair. So what I did, I took the ticket and I decided to go to the same grocery because she has explained me where was this grocery. It was very close. It was maybe 70 meters, 150 feet. And I simply decided to go. I gave the tickets to the grocery and she gave me the exact food that I had in my apartment. And guess what? It cost $5. I had my proof. She was a young lady and for example, at a moment she brought me in shop. And I knew what was going on because at this moment I have discovered the ticket story. And I thought, okay, guy, this is the first time you will be scammed. But of course I didn't want to pay anything. So I stayed outside the shop. When such things happen, you just stay outside. So she's inside and she needs to run after you, to chase you outside the shop. And this is very discomfortable for her. And she didn't dare to do such a thing. And she finally didn't ask anything and it didn't work for her. So she didn't take a lot money from me, just a gift I bring from France. And she almost reimbursed me because when we had this verbal fight, she go to the cash dispenser to retrieve the money. But finally, she left. But the dual scammer is first this woman told the story of profile verified on site. I come back to this. First, this is a piece of shit, okay? you need to understand that profile verified just means one thing. It means that she gave her ID to enter and to be registered in the database. Which means that, which means nothing, because the dating site will not send, even an honest one will not send a detective for 3 months to know if she has a boyfriend, if she had some criminal records and everything like this. No way, guys, no way. You need to understand that in Ukraine they have two passports. The internal passport inside the country is inherited from the Soviet time, and international passport. A lot of people don't have international passport because they don't travel, but they all have internal passport. And in Ukraine, in Russia, this type of document you show up a lot of time. So they necessarily have ID. So they have to show this on the dating site. The second scammer was, of course, the supposed owner. This is where, I like the story, stay tuned. Why I say supposed owner? Because in fact I discovered that the owner of the flat was not this woman. And guess what? I called the real owner. I found out the real owner, he was speaking English, and this lady was working for him. He was renting some apartment and having another mortgage agency. This guy was absolutely not happy to hear that his employee was scamming him, trying to resell the apartment twice the price and to get the difference in her pocket. What I think really is very simple. I think that in fact they were working, of course, in tandem, in duo, and the other one was more experimented and coming from the dirty dating industry and used it to do the scam. Of course, imagine that 8 nights with $50 per night, it's $400. And in 2009 and even today, this is a good wages in full month wages in Ukraine. So the other one, the youngest, who was shy, she was shy, tried to get more, but she was inexperimented and not really comfortable with her endeavor. And the fact is, I disliked it very, very quickly, from the very beginning, because my scam meter was on. And she told me, you don't like me, oh, I can like you. I had this type of people. So of course, but I stayed 3 days or 4 days before we starting dating. But as my travel was short, I had to go after 1 week basically. What's funny is a few months after I came back to Ukraine, and especially in this city, Kharkov, and when I watched the site of the owner who had such a rental apartment, I noticed that this woman who tried to scam me the 80 euro per night had been removed, so she was not working any longer there. Here we are, as promised. This is some letters we have exchanged, and you need to know right now that I have cancelled one travel during the summer before a meeting in November. And from a Soviet Union woman don't really trust you, basically. So when you cancel a flight, a travel, they start to be very suspicious. That's not good for you. And I had already cancelled one travel. I'm such happy that you can come to me, Kharkov, soon. For me, it's better if you can come in November because it will be soon. I such wait for you. Yes, I will find good apartment for rent, so I don't have all the history of the message, but maybe asked her to rent this apartment. Or she proposed it to me, and I step in the process. My bad. So we can cook together at her home. Of course, this never happened. What data, what schedule in November is good for you? And I don't have any boyfriend. So don't worry to ask such question to a former Soviet Union woman, because she is capable to ask you the same. It's not about to be desperate to ask this or to be jealous. Everything can change, and sometimes it's better to be a little direct, a little frank, and ask the question. I will be spent with you maximum of time. Unfortunately, she didn't take any holidays, real holidays. She was working during the day. But except if you have a very high level of connection before the flight, because this is a big risk for the woman. If she dislikes you, she had 1 week of holidays, and if she had disliked you during the first meeting, she is off for 1 week. And often, when they don't work, they don't get paid in probably half the situation. For November, how are you? I received your short message sending, so I need to add that I had the phone number of this woman. I called her. We had little conversation and communication on the phone. I don't have on computer, only my working laptop, which I can sometimes take from work to home, but not often. In 2009, that was a quite frequent situation, in the sense that not a lot of women had a notebook, especially a notebook at home. They could borrow the professional one to bring it at home. I don't have home phone, but you can call me on mobile in any evening. You cannot ask more, because this woman say you can call me, and you can call me when you want in the evening. So it means that she's free and she don't have a boyfriend. Probably, more likely, because if she would have had one boyfriend, start to be complicated for her. We can one day speak by Skype. Say me what information I need that to find you in Skype. You cannot do better. The woman proposed herself to show up on Skype. You already talked to her on the phone, and now she proposed to show on Skype. Pay for your ticket. I will find an appointment and just watch you. 10 November, so we had a problem during a call because we cannot really hear each other. It happens in Ukraine, especially in 2009. Sometimes you don't have the connection. It happened also with internet. So don't worry, some weird thing happened to me with communication, phone communication, even not on mobile, but also with normal phone. It can happen, it's Ukraine. It's 26 October, of course, such happy that you come to me in Kharkov soon. Now we go to the last message. This is after, and that is quite interesting. This is after the travel. We are understanding the psyche of this woman. Big pain in me now, I can understand you, these are costs of your trade, and you do not trust people, but only you suspect, but so it's impossible, you never can be happy with such character. You have attacked me as on any criminal only, but this type of behavior is very bad. I mean, it's an offense. That I have not spent all the day long with you. No, that is not the problem. The problem is you tried to get my money, and in a dishonest way. I understand that you have arrived and wish to spend much time, but understand also me, I too get tired, so different excuses. I cannot spend so all the day long, rest too is necessary, just fake excuse. Okay, I can understand that she didn't want to take a day off for me. That's perfectly acceptable. I have a rest on Saturday, no. We will cut, we communicate, but after all, to have a rest, okay. But and that I should spend the night with you, excuse. I never asked such thing, I never pushed her, I never touched her because I rapidly disliked her. She disliked me, she didn't like me, and she was not attracted. But me, I couldn't very quickly, as the scam methods started to be on just after the taxi. So just imagine 30 minutes after the airport, the scam methods, my scam methods started to. I couldn't like this type of woman. So don't, no, it's really a false statement. Under letter, I thought that you are the best person in the world. No, I see another. No, we just see you. We just understand that you are another person who belongs to the bottom of the barrel, and just the foreigner has just landed. You have just seen less than 1 hour, and you already asked twice the price of the ticket to put this in your pocket and to multiply the bill by 2. This is the reality of the person that she was. You despotic and suspicious. I was quite happy to be suspicious. Very happy to be suspicious. Despotic? Why? Absolutely not pure and not the kind. Although this is just when people are faulty, they try to attack you. This is very classic. The best defense is attack. I do not accuse you. You just did it. There can be you in a life, met many bad people, but it's impossible so to live. She was in contact with this other woman, the second scammer. So this is why there are the double scammer in my video. And this other woman was likely to be the bad woman to be acquainted with and to be friend with, and very likely that she was giving some bad idea. But you never know, maybe it was her. No, I feel guilty, so my fault is not present. And so you let your friend scam me every night $50 because you don't know you are a local, you live here, and you don't know, and if you don't know, you can ask to few people around you in 5 minutes, and so you don't know that your friend, the owner, was scamming me, and you didn't protect me. That should be fault of whom? I tried to find the best apartment, tried to make you to a peasant, one has ordered meal. My prompting have turned back against me. Yes, if you try to screw me up, yes, the table is turning 360 degrees. I will return all your gift. She didn't. She was in fact not really happy to be discovered, and that's I finally found out into a game. That was the truth. The lesson of this history for you is very simply, you need to rent your flat. If you are making a trouble for a woman, even if you believe she's genuine and you are sure that she's a nice woman and she's genuine and so on, you want your flat. First reason is you have 2 balls in the pants. So you are the man, you do such a thing. This is your job, to rent your flat. And no from a Soviet Union woman will be disappointed, deceived you to do such a thing. Second, you push away any temptation. No possible benefit. That's good. And the third thing is, you go, this woman is genuine and so on. And after 2 days, you don't like this woman. She has booked the flat for 1 week and you don't like this woman, and you have some other contact and you want to meet them. That's good. This is a good strategy. And now you want to stop with the first woman and she likes you. You try to find a way to tell her, bye-bye, ciao, ciao. But what happened? You don't know the language. You want to return to the airport. Of course, you have a plane to board. And let's say that this woman that like you, she learns that now you don't want to meet her and you are meeting some other woman. She will not be very happy with this. May you believe that she will pick up you to the airport the last day. I will not bet on such a thing. if you want to have some peace, you need to rent your flat and to have a lot of freedom, and so you can change your plan accordingly to your wish, depending on the situation, because the situation could change very quickly. Everything could be okay, and in 30 minutes it could be over. You never know.